For the turbine project, I came up with a variety of blade designs. Nothing particularly scientific about some of them, but they have some particular shape. And then there's a fastener with a machine screw fastener, and the head of that fastener is going to go into the hub to keep it in place. But there's several different shapes and sizes that people can try to see how they can maximize the rotational velocity of the hub and the generator based on the wind speed of the fan. So we'll show how that goes on there using one of these and see what we can get out of the fan today. Let's just try the black ones here. And on the back of them, at least one of them, there's a marker of the reflective color that the tachometer can measure. On the black ones, it's white tape, white reflective tape, so that as it's rotating, the tachometer can read that as it passes by, and we can get an indication of how fast the blades are rotating. There are two hubs that you can choose from. There's a hub that would accept 4 blades. It's not terribly exciting, but the hub blade would go into each of the 4 sides, and then this slips over the square receiver on the generator, and then a hub with 3 sides for a 3-sided or a 3-bladed turbine. Let's go ahead and do a 4 today. So the hub's comes in 2 pieces, the top and the back, and there's a receiver for the fasteners that are the pins of each of the blades. So just put those into the little slots. And put the top half of the hub back on. Once we have the blades attached to the hub and the pitch angles established the way we want them, we're ready to put it onto the generator. The generator motor mounted onto a 3D printed nacelle or mount that screws onto a piece of pipe. There's a adapter piece here in the front, and the hub slides onto the adapter. It's a square adapter, so we have a positive lock, and just to make sure it doesn't slide off, we have a small retainer piece that will screw in place to keep it from sliding. And now it's ready to get some wind applied to it and see what we can generate. So once you have your blades attached to the hub and the hub attached to the generator, you have that all set up. You apply your wind, in this case a fan, and see what happens. Now we could do a number of things. We could use a tachometer to measure the rotational speed of the blades. We could use a power resistor across the output of the generator to measure the voltage across that resistor or the current through that resistor, and then calculate the power output. But one thing that would be fun to do is connect it up to this box that we have, and what this will do depending on how much voltage is being generated will indicate be indicated by how many LEDs are being lit up. We have 3 rows of LEDs being lit up right now, which is a pretty good amount of voltage. Probably 7 or 8 volts, perhaps 9 volts being generated, which isn't bad for this little generator unit. But if we want to do something useful with that, there's a USB port on here. We could charge a phone, or I have a USB lamp. So if we put it over to the USB port side, there's a switch that's left between the LEDs and the USB. We're generating enough power to light an LED through the USB port. So that's the basics of the project.